To begin, you will need a mirror image of your photograph and you will place it on the bottom. You will take your transparency and place the marker side down, and you will be painting on the opposite side of the marker. This way it'll be easier to see where the highlights, midtones, and shadows are. On your plate, you just need a tiny little bit. You can see I only have a tiny bit. I got way too much white, but we're gonna start with what we're putting emphasis on. So I'm doing yellow-green. So I have a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green. Whatever you're mixing, you will wanna get some black and white to make some tints and shades, maybe not for the emphasis, but notice I only have a tiny bit of black. Black goes a long way, okay? Now we're just gonna start mixing the paint together. If you are mixing paint, always start with the lighter color and just add tiny bits of the darker pigment in until you get your desired color. Here you'll see I started painting the green first and then I went oopsie. Make sure that if you're doing your eyes, you always paint the catch lights first, which are the little white dots showing light reflection. Whatever you paint first is what is going to show up on the reverse side. So you're almost painting backwards, if that makes sense. Whatever you want on top, you want to paint first. After you've painted your area of emphasis, you will paint other areas that will be colored a totally different color than your skin. So like eyebrows, lips, the whites of your eyes, hair. And keep in mind that you're almost layering this backwards. So what you see on top is actually going backwards from the front. So I like to look at it once in a while by lifting up a little bit of tape and seeing how it looks as I go. Now for the hair, I have highlights and shadows, so I'm just gonna grab a bunch of white and just some straight up red violet and try and work quickly. Once I get some on there in the right areas, then I will work on blending things together. Now I'm going to start with the skin. I am going to blend a very light tint of red violet for my highlights, and I'm going to start by painting the areas that are the lightest. Then I'm going to come back and add a little bit more red violet to get some midtones, and then I'll come back and add even more red violet to paint the shadowy areas. Try and add texture with your brush because this does dry quickly, and that will help with the overall look. After noticing a couple little empty spots, I decided to paint white over the back of the whole thing. The white really helps with the overall opacity of the colors and the intensity of the colors. I will also add a second coat over my shirt.